all alone.
How true that is, Adam. Having started and run a number of small businesses, and we define that, by the way, companies from 1 to 25 employees. And Adam and I have been coaching for 15 years together, and we've seen hundreds of situations here. So never wanting to make it alone, or you'll never make it alone, is absolutely one of the biggest truisms you're gonna hear.
Yeah, it's something that I think our society, it's always goes back to the well, maybe it's more so for men than women, I guess. The whole idea of never asking for directions, right?
That's right.
So the idea of asking for help with business, and again, we're not just saying outside help, but even with when hiring employees, or if you have contractors, whatever you're able to use, but come to terms with the fact that you don't have to put everything on your shoulders, and your shoulders are only so wide, you can only handle so much. You're going to have to tap into other people to help you get where you're trying to go. If you try to do it all yourself, that's a guaranteed formula for failure.
That's right. So many small businesses do fail. We all know that. Depending on where you're trying to go with your company. Some people want to be global in their vision, and some people are very content to be very local and just have a business that's going to nicely provide for them and their family. And it's a big deal, depending if you want to obviously go global, the resources that you have to tap and the number of people and even the indirect kinds of things that are just there, the infrastructure, the so much of business and institutions are in place that you can draw from and will draw from. If you want to be small, you're gonna start depending on your own business knowledge. If you have a lot of business knowledge, the people you tap into and need to support your quest will be different. So it always starts with lawyers when you start a business, lawyers, accountants, and insurance. That's how everybody starts.
I can feel the oxygen coming out of the room, Jack.
Can't you?
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, there's so much that goes into truly starting a business and making it successful. And those three categories are by far involved with just about every company in some form or another, but it's not the juice that really makes it go. We've seen that way too often.
Well, it's usually, usually what happens is people will get stuck. Once they've started and they're kind of going, they'll often get stuck somewhere pretty quickly. Okay, and, we had
the stuck from a state of how
yeah,
you're talking about?
they're often stuck. Yeah, they're sure they're kind of spinning their wheels, so to say at times, and it's often because it's just them. We had a client for a number of years. When they first started out, there were 3 partners, and they're all pretty good. And within about 6 months, one of the partners had left, and as they grew the first couple of years, they hired some pretty young people. More kind of people just to kind of take orders to get stuff done. They weren't really adding much value, and they were wondering when they met us why they were kind of stuck at that level. And often where people usually get stuck for the first time will be somewhere in the $500,000 to $1 million range in terms of sales.
That's that's true. That's
Okay.
roughly the range.
And so if you don't have good people, often you're just going to be stuck there, because if you have people who are not necessarily good or helpful or bring a lot to the table, they're going to just be, again, biding their time a little bit, and they aren't helping you. So you got to be able to bring in good quality people and try to identify what those people look like. That's often the hardest thing, but finding those good people and having them. And if you have an A player, I'm a big fan of Steve Jobs, as you know, and I've read his biography, and one of the things he talked about in there was having A players versus B players and C players. And a great quote was that A players will not tolerate B and C players. So if you have an organization where you have an A player, but you have 5 or 6 B or C players, well, chances are the wrong person's going to leave your organization, which is the A player. Right? Because they're going to say, well, look,
that's what happened. We've seen it often.
If the owner's going to tolerate the B and the C players, what's happening is the A players look at the owner and say, hey, doesn't this gal see what's going on? Doesn't she understand that these are a bunch of bozos who are here, that aren't helping out? And so, well, if she doesn't figure that out, well, I have better things to do with my time.